So if you are a real estate investor looking for more motivated seller leads, I want to share with you how we generated 81 inbound motivated seller leads in 30 days using AI and ads. And just to double check, we also generated 54 automated booked appointments. So I'm going to take you through those numbers in just a second, but 81 inbound motivated seller leads and 54 automated appointments with AI and ads. So in this video, what I'm going to be covering is first the advertising data. So I want to walk you through what the client spent, what their cost per click is, what their cost per lead is, and cost per appointment, all that good stuff, just so you can see a realistic view of an ad account. Then I'm going to walk you through the overview of our strategy so you understand what we're doing, the type of ads we're running, the type of landing page that we have, and everything that goes into this strategy to actually make it successful. And then I'm going to break down some little things that, basically make this account really profitable. Last year, they spent about $50,000 on ads and they made $250,000 just from this one channel. So I want to give you some insight as to what makes an ad account successful, because yes, we are great at running ads, generating leads, getting booked appointments, and following up using AI and automation. But there are some other things that our clients do really well and some other parts of their strategy that make this all come together. And so one of the things that I want to help people with is understanding what they really need to actually succeed with paid ads. Okay, so let's get straight into the data and then we'll go through the rest of things. Now, I am going to show you the data for the month of January. At the time of recording, it's almost February 1st, but this is for January of 2025. Now, what you're going to see is this client spent a significant amount of ad spend per day, over $100. Now, we have people spending, way more than that, but you may be wondering, oh man, I don't have $100 a day. I can't do this, right? Well, I want to tell you a quick story. This screenshot right here that you're seeing is actually from this same exact customer. And he started out with just a $10 per day ad budget. And he was running the ads himself with our proven templates through our software. And so this customer actually signed up, ran the ads himself with our software, started with just $10 a day, and he ended up turning $5,000 into $55,000 in assignment fees. And so once he did that, after like 3 to 4 months, he then decided to sign up with my company and have us manage and do this for him. So just so you don't get turned away from, $100 or more per day in ad spend and maybe, a higher cost per lead or something like that, this same exact customer signed up, ran his own ads, started with just $10 a day, and started getting, leads for just $12, right? And then by starting small and progressing up, now they're spending, $100 or more per day. So it's been really cool to see that. So I wanted to share that just so you understand, if you have the right ad templates, you have the right strategy, you can start with potentially less than you think if you know what you're doing, okay? So now let's get into the actual numbers here. So big picture, right? All that I really care about, as long as the feedback is good from the client, is how much we're paying per lead and what our appointment booking ratio is. So I'm going to walk you through this spreadsheet just so you see, everything that we track and monitor. I have hid, some important stuff that we also track, like the notes. And basically, we just make a change in the notes every time, there's some sort of change that we make in the campaign. That way I can manage, a client's account just by the numbers and just seeing everything really easy and not getting into all the details, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this like, you just have no experience with what this is, and then we'll move on. So the first thing here is obviously just the days in the month and then how much was spent on these particular campaigns, okay? So you can see here, basically the client's spending about, 125 or so per day. And we can see the exact average here, $144 per day, average spent, okay? Then we have our impressions, okay? So the impressions are basically the amount of times that the ads were seen, that particular day. So if let's say one person sees the ad twice, that's 2 impressions, but that's considered 1 in the reach column, okay? So this client is basically reaching, 51,000 people, 51,000 impressions per month, 43,000 people, and they're not having to go and door knock or cold call or do anything like that. And then on top of it, when these leads, see the actual ad, which I'll, share with you how that works, they're coming to us, they're clicking the ad, they're filling their information out. So basically what this client's doing is spending, $144 a day by the end of the month, they're getting in front of 44,000 targeted people and then getting them to actually interact and fill out their information. So this is how much they're spending. This is how many times the ad was seen. And then this is how many people, unique people, saw the ad. The CPM is basically how much this advertisement costs to show it to 1,000 people. Okay. So this niche, motivated sellers, right, can be a little bit more costly than other niches for a few reasons. And basically, if you target like the entire United States with a very vague or broad offer, like a consumer product or something like that, you can have CPMs that cost $5, $10, $20, depending on your targeting. So these are relatively higher, and it's really because the ticket price, right, for one of these deals can be $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. The record that I've set with Facebook ads is $393,000 or $395,000 or something like that with one lead as profit for the client. So spending a little bit more on the CPMs really isn't something that I care about or overanalyze, but this is just so you have an idea. They basically pay about $72 to show the ad to 1,000 people, all right, or to get 1,000 impressions. Then here we have our clicks, right? Same thing. I'm not really too worried about this because the strategy that we have is we're targeting, we're doing direct response marketing. We're looking for people that need to make a decision now, right? I have done this where I can spike up the amount of clicks on certain days. That's, you can spike up clicks, you can spike the click-through rate, you can do all those things. And I just found that didn't actually lead to a higher conversion rate, right? So this amount of, or this click-through rate, which is basically just the percentage of people that click out of the percentage or out of the number of people that saw the ad, this is decent for this particular niche, which is motivated sellers, people that need to make a move, right? So not too worried about this stuff here. All of this stuff looks good. We do have baseline metrics for all of this, and everything here is above that baseline, so we're good. Then you can just see this will auto calculate the cost per click. So how much did they spend, how many clicks did we get? Okay, that's the cost per click. Now into the good stuff, which is the surveys, the number of leads that we generate from this for this particular customer. So the surveys will be mostly influenced by the number of questions that we add, the cost per survey. And so an example of this is we're spending right here $53 to get a survey completed. Now I could potentially lower this to probably like 30, maybe even, I'd say 30 conservatively, by removing some of the questions that we ask on the survey to make the survey easier to be submitted. An extreme example of this would be, let's say that we ran this same exact ad and changed nothing other than the number of questions on the survey. Well, if we ask for the, address of the homeowner, their name, their email, their phone number, why they're selling, what their asking price is, when they need to sell by, and we start asking all these detailed questions, that's going to lower this percentage, which is the number of people that land on the survey and basically complete it as a percentage. So if one person completes the survey, out of 10 people that are on the survey, that's 10%. And so I could spike this up and lower this in an extreme example by removing all those questions and then just asking someone for their email. Now, a traditional, landing page for this type of strategy at 20% is actually really good. And I'll talk more about why that is in, the why this strategy works part of the slide. But this is great, $53 per lead, because we are collecting those pieces of information that I mentioned. And so we don't want to spike the, landing page conversion rate too high, and we don't want to lower the cost per lead too low, because you start getting into a lot of listed properties that don't qualify for the type of offer that we're looking for. So there is kind of a sweet spot to finding the right price per lead so that this actually works well. If you go to the extreme and you just try to collect, as big of a list as possible, you're going to be wasting time. You're going to, chasing these leads down. Like I said, there's other variables these things will affect. So if we lower the cost per lead, that can literally lower the contact rate. So maybe right now they're contacting about 60% of the leads and getting in contact with them. If we start spiking this up, or spiking the landing page conversion down, and then the cost per lead starts going down, then it may take twice as many contacts, 3 times as many contacts to just get in touch with people. And I've seen this firsthand when you go for really, really cheap leads for this type of strategy. you just kind of end up having to sort through a bunch of junk. And the math always pretty much pans out too, where if you start dropping your lead cost to like $15 per lead, then it ends up taking you like 3 to 4 leads to get, the equivalent of one of these leads. So I find that there's a sweet spot. So this is right where we'd like it. We can still get it lower, 45, 44, 40 potentially, and stay in that sweet spot, and that'll just come from better ads, better copy, stuff like that. But 81 leads in 30 days, and then we also have today's tracking, and so we'll see where we end the month at, maybe 84, 85. But now here is a great signal, okay? So 81 leads, there's the cost per lead, there's the, landing page conversion rate, and then here is the actual number of bookings. So basically, when the user sees the ad, they click on the ad, they fill out the survey. After they fill out the survey, they are redirected to the second step in our funnel, which has the appointment, basically a calendar system. Just you choose a date, choose a time, and then the information actually auto-fills from the survey, and so the user doesn't have to re-input their information. And so you can see here we have 54 appointments that were actually booked, okay? And this is a very healthy appointment booking ratio, and these are the things that, you'll learn with experience that, if you start lowering the cost per lead and raising the landing page conversion rate, you drop your contact rate. This is a case-by-case basis. I can't tell you, universally it's always true, but in cases that I've tested, you drop the cost per lead, you raise the landing page conversion rate, so you get more volume through the funnel, but then you don't have people's phone numbers or don't have the right information. The booking rates go down because these people are less intentional, and then it just takes more energy and time to get the same people to actually have conversations with you. So this is really awesome. I've seen this countless times over, a 50% booking rate. And so this is very healthy. Like I said, we're getting, $50 leads, and it's only costing us an extra $30 to get someone to agree to a date and a time. And then in addition to that, we also have AI follow-up and AI booking bots that can increase this number as well to make sure all of this stuff is actually healthy. Okay, so that's why you'll see on some of these days that the percentage of people that booked is actually greater than 100%. Well, what does that mean? It means, well, some of these are greater than 100%, and some of them you can't even see because, they fit. The amount of appointments is less than the number of surveys. But what will tend to happen is somebody will fill out a survey here, right, on the 15th, let's say, then they don't book an appointment. They get automated texts and emails, and then they book over here. Okay. So these are just the number of appointments or number of leads generated on that day, number of bookings generated on that day. So people will book and turn into appointments after they've actually filled out the survey. But there is a large percentage of leads that will immediately book as soon as they fill out the survey. And so this is very, very healthy right here. And we're waiting on the word back from this particular customer, how many contracts that they generated. I would say, based on my experience with them, it's going to be at least 2, potentially more. Okay, so those are the numbers, and I'll paint kind of a better picture of why the numbers are the way that they are, like the cost and stuff like that, when we get into the next parts of this. Okay, so now why does this work, right? Because, like I said, there's more than just the proven ads, the proven funnel. Yes, that's super important, but there's some other components here. So the first thing is the population size. So when it comes to marketing for these types of leads, it's a very competitive niche, right? And so an extreme example that I can give you is that, I'm here in Southern California, and so there are a lot of investors that are looking for properties in, these counties that I'm in, right? And so if somebody were to attempt to run Facebook ads in one of these counties, it's very likely that if they use this exact strategy, this type of survey, this type of ad, that they will, pay $150, $180, $250. If you go Google PPC, I know people that will pay $350, $400 for just a submission, right? And the reason that is the case, in at least one aspect of it, is the amount of people that are in the actual, area that you're targeting on Facebook, right? And so because this client is a virtual wholesaler and they basically work with properties across the country in different areas, that population size is much greater. And so you can just kind of imagine this algorithm, right, which kind of sounds complicated. If you just imagine it as a data set, right, and it having the ability to have 15 million potential patterns that it can recognize versus maybe in a small area, it only has, 500,000 or a million. And on top of it, there's more traffic and more ad spend that's already going in that community. The algorithm basically, in the simplest terms, in general, will get you more leads at a lower cost the larger the area or the greater the population that you target. That's kind of the simplest way to put it. So because this client is targeting multiple states and we have a pretty big population size, that cost per lead, even if we add more questions to the survey, even if our ads aren't the best, we're still going to be able to get pretty solid results because of that. And that's why I focus on helping virtual wholesalers with their ads, either, through us doing it for them or them doing it themselves through our software, because it's so much easier to get results and it's less competitive. Now, there's the aspect of the actual business model that has to be successful, finding buyers, having experience working virtually, all that stuff. But just from a purely marketing perspective, the greater the population, the easier it will be to generate leads, the less of an expert you need to be with your ad copy, your headlines, your creative, and doing all this crazy ad stuff. I mean, you could literally run a nationwide ad, which would be the entire United States, and probably get this same, quality of lead for like $5 to $10. So that's kind of the extreme of understanding it. The smaller you target, the higher the cost, the more people we add, the more stable the system will become, and the more consistent the lead flow, and the lower the cost per lead. You go super wide, you can get submissions in like the first 5-10 minutes, and you're spending $5-10, but potentially they're in areas that aren't a legitimate deal, or the property value is too low for there to be a deal. Okay, so that's one of the big components, is they're virtual. The other component is they also have multiple exit strategies. All right, so they're not just wholesaling; they also are, doing novations. And so because of that, they're able to convert more of these leads that traditionally aren't going to be a fit for just a straight wholesale deal. So that affects this as well. Now, when it comes to the marketing itself, this is a proven ads system. So I've been running ads for the past 8 years, and I've tested all these different types of ads and strategies and copy and whatever. And I basically turned all of my ads into templates. And so instead of, a client hiring us to do these ads for them, or a customer running their own ads to our software and like being trained on how to run the ad and, write copy, I basically just, say, hey, pick a template, choose where you're targeting and pick a template and launch it, right? And so I go in with confidence if the customer, tells me where they're targeting, and I'm clear about the areas, and I've been doing it for a while, so I know what costs will pretty much be in different areas. And so then we just launch proven ads, and we have a proven funnel as well. And so all those things give us clear feedback to actually manage the client's, campaigns properly, because we know we're running, in general, the same type of ads, the same type of funnel. And so it makes the system real stable. And, when I first got into this, I thought it was about making these miracle ads and miracle funnels. And there's an aspect of that, if you're, managing your own ads or something like that, that you can definitely do. But when you're providing this as a service and you want your results to be as predictable as possible, we really want to limit the amount of changes we're making and things that we're testing and variables we're testing. So we really, try to test only one variable at a time. And like I said, put that in the notes section here so that I can go in, see all the numbers, make sure everything looks good. And then if we make one simple change, then and any of the numbers improve, or, basically cost goes up or something like that, then I can basically clearly see, oh, we changed this ad copy, or we changed this headline, or we changed the location, right? But if you start changing like 10 things at once and you're testing a bunch of things, then it's, in theory, it makes sense. You're just like trying to basically optimize for the best result. But I like starting with a baseline, making sure we know we're going into every ad account with a baseline of like, this is what the cost should be, and these are what the numbers should be, and then watching it from there. And then if we make any changes, just like I said, doing one simple variable change if needed, right? And so we want the ads to be constant, and we want the funnel to be constant. We're not gambling. We're not trying to come up with some new strategy or hack, right? And the other slight advantage that we do have is that we use all of our clients on one pixel that we own. And so because of that, let's say, you start with your own pixel, you may be starting with, $1,000 of ad spend, whereas this pixel has, $20,000, $30,000 a month of ad spend being, driven data to, right? And so we start with clients there, so we don't start from scratch. That's a slight advantage, not absolutely essential, but that is an advantage that we have. And then the other component is just clear metrics, right? The people that I have seen, basically fail with ads, they don't even know what's going on. and then they're doing it themselves, or they're, whatever, they're trying to figure stuff out, and there's just no clear picture, right? And so this profession is basically media buying, right? And so I've just found that keeping things as simple as possible is what's key to the overall success, because the ads alone are not going to make a client successful. And I've learned that the hard way. And some clients have probably learned that the hard way too, because they think that just running ads is going to be the thing that changes their business, right? And transforms it in a positive way. But the reality of it is that, the ads are just a channel of traffic, right? And so if the other components are not in place, it's just going to accelerate and kind of basically show you what you're missing out on, right? And so these clients are great. They know what they're doing. We know what we're doing. We track it clearly. We monitor these very slight changes. We make sure we're not changing the whole system. And that's what allows us to sustain it over a long period of time. Okay. So clear metrics are super key as well. And knowing what to actually, optimize for, what the baseline is for certain metrics is important. Then the other one is AI automated follow-up systems. Okay. So inside of our system here, we have follow-up content. I can actually just show you. All right, so this is inside of our system. This is the software that we have where if you are interested in running your own ads, we actually have all of our templates here. So you could just click on Facebook ads, launch your campaign, and then I recommend that long form, like I said. And then all of these templates are in here. And so you can just basically pick one of these and run ads. And then our proven funnel is also in here as well. So when you sign up, you get a link, and that link you basically just, send the traffic to, so that people start going through the funnel and booking appointments. Now, the other component, which is what I was getting to, is the AI follow-up. So once these leads get generated, we help the client with automated text and email to make sure that these leads are actually being engaged with immediately. And if they're not responding, that we're following up with them. And I mean, really, if you're not doing this, I mean, whether it's with me or somebody else, I mean, it's just nearly impossible to have any sort of simplicity or predictability in really any business, because you're just, I don't know, I wouldn't even know what to do other than this, because I've just been doing it for so long. But basically this gives us complete certainty that once we get a lead, they're going to get a text, hey, we just received your request for a cash offer, and then making sure that if they haven't booked an appointment, we get them booked in here. It's going to wait. It's going to email them. It's going to wait again, email them again. It's going to wait, and then it's going to text. So all this we already have pre-built and ready to go. And so when those leads start getting generated, this is also making sure that, these leads that we're getting don't just, go unattended and not responded to, right? And then we have a second phase as well. So once these leads basically go through that first phase, if they still have not responded, then we start texting them and emailing them again, right? And so those are two follow-up sequences that are automatically put in place. So once those leads come in, then basically there's, something going out to those people, right? And this component is really, really cool, which is our AI booking bot. So this AI booking bot is designed specifically for qualifying motivated sellers. And you can actually change this, any of the questions just by like typing something right in here. And this will convert these leads that are responding to the automated text and actually book them on this calendar here. So those leads that end up filling out the survey, but they don't fill out the booking page after the funnel, they'll get that text. And then if they start responding, this bot will attempt to get them on an appointment and qualify them and all that good stuff. And then everything is just saved inside of the thread here. So you can see this is a real appointment. So, they started responding back to the automation, and then the bot jumps in here, and this thing's responding within literally seconds. You can change all the features here as well. So if you want it to, respond faster, you can do that. I mean, all this stuff is literally just a few clicks and ready to go. And so it converts these people that are just responding and then gets them on a calendar. And you can see all this is done right here within the actual system. Okay. So run the ads will then the automation will trigger and follow up with those leads, and then if they respond, then the booking bot will basically jump in here and start replying to those leads and basically turning them into appointments. And then these are just some other automations. When you get a lead, then you'll get a text and an email and stuff like that. And so when you combine all of these elements here, a big enough population size, proven ads, proven funnel, the client having multiple exit strategies. While that's not essential, that does increase the conversion rate, but you can still just wholesale with this system for sure. That's just a bonus as to why they're converting more. But big enough population size, multiple exit strategies, proven ads, proven funnel, clear metrics, and then AI follow-up systems. I mean, if you just stick with it, then the game, once you have all these, becomes, consistency and making sure you have the right mindset of like sticking with it, right? Because the number one thing I see when you have all of this is people just get in their own way, they quit too soon, and they basically just give up before they can really see the success. Okay. So if you want access to my course on how to generate these motivated seller leads, as well as this entire automation system that I showed you, the funnel, it even includes a website in there, the funnel, all the automations, all the 50 proven ads for every state, there is a link below and you can launch your own ads with that link. And if you're interested in done for you, you can just go to newbreedinvestor.com and basically tell us you're interested in done for you. Okay. But this one, offer right here is for you if you want to launch your own ads, which is what I recommend with starting, because it's super simple with the software and all the automations already pre-built. We already have all the proven ad templates and the funnel. But if you do want done for you, you can just basically let me know and we can talk about that. So I'll see you in the next video. Hope this was valuable and talk to you then. Bye-bye.